Hey guys, welcome back to another Formula video. Today we're going to be going into how you can calculate your own NPS survey score. So, you probably already know what an NPS score survey is, but do you really know how to effectively gather information from customer feedback? Well, let's get into how you can actually calculate your very own NPS score. So, NPS scores are basically comprised of a number from 0 to 100. And these numbers can vary and kind of just give you an approximation of how well your company is doing in the eyes of the customer. So respondents are actually categorized into three categories: detractors, who give you a score of 0 to 6, passives, who give a rating scale of 7 to 8, and promoters, who give a score over 8. So detractors are basically the customers who don't really enjoy your product or hasn't had the best experience with it. Passives are people who won't really badmouth your company, but also won't actively promote it. And promoters, as you can kind of guess, are the people who are your biggest asset and will help your company grow through word of mouth. So it's actually pretty simple to calculate your NPS score. All you have to do is take the percentage of promoters and subtract them by the percentage of detractors. So I'll just give an example right now. So for example, if your company had 70% promoters and 20% detractors, then all you have to do is take that 70%, subtract it by the 20%, and then you have an NPS score of 50. And this score kind of just goes to show what your kind of range of customer sentiment is, right? So kind of what's widely viewed in the community is that anything lower than 0 score, anything in the negatives basically, is kind of a sign that your company needs to improve, and there's a lot of room for growth as well, because customers aren't really satisfied with your product and you have a lot of opportunities to kind of improve and patch these issues. A score of 0 to 50 states that your company is in good graces, but there is a lot of room for improvement and you still have to try your best to grow your company. Any score from 50 to 70 is actually viewed as really good and excellent service. So if you have over, let's say, 50% or 60% score, that signifies that you have an excellent business and excellent service. And anything over 70% is world class, it's excellent, and it's industry leading. So now I know this sounds awesome and all, so let's kind of just get into how you can create your own NPS survey and kind of break down quickly what you can do using software such as Formula, which thousands of businesses actually incorporate to gather NPS information, and how you can kind of implement this NPS score to gain very powerful insights onto the decision-making process. Make sure you subscribe and like to the video before we begin so that you can show us that you love our content, and let's get into it. Let's hop on the editor. So once you click on one of our NPS survey templates, it should look something like this. It should automatically create tables and charts of insights for you to kind of gauge and use your NPS information. So let's just go into the editor real quick just to see what it looks like and how you can kind of implement your own template. So everything on Formula is super customizable. You probably know this already, but you can add a large variety of forms and a large variety of fields that you can use to kind of customize the questions around what you want. Obviously, the core question of an NPS survey is how likely are you to recommend the company to a friend or colleague. This is done through a rating scale, and there's various tools you can use as well, such as design to change the background text, field colors, match it to your company's preferences and your brand colors, which is pretty cool. Notifications, if you want to get notified whenever a person or customer responds. And to just share your survey, I'm just going to do this really quickly just to show you guys. You can just click on this link over here, copy paste onto your email or whatever you want to distribute your NPS survey through. And so going back into the app that's already created for you, this template is really powerful because it creates tables for you, depending on your responses. So for example, let's say here are some responses. Let's say you have a really successful NPS campaign, and look, there's already graphs made for you. So in this case, we have a bunch of responses right here, a lot of 10s, some 7s, some 5s, some 2s, and just so kind of just to demonstrate to you guys how simple it is to calculate the NPS score, all you have to do is take the amount of detractors and the amount of promoters. So let's say right now we have 3 10s, so we have 3 promoters, 1 passive because it's 7, 8 as passive, and anything lower than 7 is a detractor, so we have 2 detractors. So we have a total of 6 responses. So let's say 50% of them are promoters right now, and 1/6 of them is a detractor, and 2/6 or 1/3, so roughly 33% are promoters. So if you subtract 50 by 33, that gives you roughly 17%. So right now your net promoter score would be 17. Obviously this isn't the best score, but it kind of just proves that your company has room for growth. And that's kind of just how easy it is. Super simple, super easy, and I hope you guys liked the video. And if you guys want us to keep creating more content like this, just like the video, subscribe, show us that you guys are engaged in this type of content, and we'll make more for you guys. So until next time, happy formuling, and see you guys in the next video.